Sarah's second deployment brought new challenges and responsibilities. The region had become more volatile, with enemy forces adapting their tactics to counter military operations. Intelligence reports indicated increased activity from highly trained enemy snipers who were targeting military personnel with devastating effectiveness. The base commander assigned Sarah to a special counter-sniper team tasked with eliminating these deadly threats. Her new role required different skills than providing convoy protection. She would need to hunt other snipers, engaging in deadly games of patience and precision where the smallest mistake could be fatal. Her first counter-sniper mission took place in an abandoned city district. Enemy snipers had been picking off soldiers from hidden positions among the rubble of destroyed buildings. Sarah and her spotter, Sergeant Rodriguez, spent 3 days studying the area through high-powered optics, looking for signs of enemy activity. On the fourth morning, Rodriguez spotted movement in a partially collapsed apartment building 800 meters away. Through her scope, Sarah could see the outline of a rifle barrel protruding from a window. The enemy sniper was well concealed and clearly experienced, but Sarah had the patience and skill to wait for the perfect shot. The engagement lasted nearly 6 hours. Both snipers remained motionless, waiting for the other to make a mistake. Sarah's training in meditation and mental focus proved invaluable during the long standoff. When the enemy sniper finally shifted position slightly, Sarah was ready. Her shot was precise and immediate, eliminating a threat that had been terrorizing the local area for weeks. Word of Sarah's success spread throughout the military command structure. Senior officers began requesting her specifically for the most challenging missions. Her kill count started climbing steadily as she eliminated high-value targets and protected countless soldiers from sniper attacks. The psychological pressure of her job began weighing on Sarah during quiet moments. Each confirmed elimination represented a life taken, a decision that couldn't be undone. She developed coping mechanisms, focusing on the lives she was saving rather than the ones she was taking. The support of her fellow soldiers helped her maintain perspective during difficult times. Her reputation extended beyond her own unit. Enemy forces began specifically hunting for the sniper they called the Phantom. Sarah's effectiveness had made her a priority target, forcing her to constantly change positions and vary her tactics. The increased danger made every mission more complex and stressful. During a particularly intense operation, Sarah's position was compromised by enemy forces. Surrounded and outnumbered, she and Rodriguez had to fight their way to an extraction point while under heavy fire. Sarah's combat skills extended beyond sniping, and she proved equally effective with assault rifles during the desperate firefight. The successful extraction, despite overwhelming odds, further enhanced Sarah's legendary status among military personnel. Stories of her exploits spread through military bases across the region. New soldiers arriving for their first deployment often asked to meet the famous sniper they had heard so much about. Sarah's commanding officers recommended her for advanced sniper training programs, available only to the most elite personnel. The additional training expanded her capabilities, teaching her new techniques for long-range shooting and advanced camouflage methods. She learned to use different rifle systems and adapt to various environmental conditions. Her third deployment took her to an even more dangerous region where enemy forces had sophisticated training and equipment. The challenges were greater than anything she had faced before, but Sarah's skills and experience prepared her for the increased difficulty. She continued building her reputation as one of the military's most effective snipers. The local population in areas where Sarah operated began telling stories about a mysterious guardian who protected them from enemy fighters. Children in liberated villages drew pictures of a female soldier they had never seen, but whose presence they felt. Sarah's work was making a real difference in the lives of innocent people caught in the conflict. By the end of her third deployment, Sarah had accumulated an impressive record of confirmed eliminations. Her precise shooting and tactical intelligence had saved countless lives while eliminating significant threats. The young woman from small-town Texas had become one of the most respected snipers in military service. Sarah's exceptional performance earned her selection for the military's most elite sniper program. Only 12 personnel from across all branches were chosen for the classified unit that handled the most sensitive and dangerous missions. The program required additional security clearances and specialized training that pushed even experienced snipers to their limits. The new training facility was located in a remote, mountain location where Sarah learned advanced techniques she had never imagined. Instructors taught her to make impossible shots in extreme weather conditions, use cutting-edge technology integrated with traditional sniper skills, and operate independently behind enemy lines for extended periods. Her first mission with the elite unit involved eliminating a high-value target who had been responsible for planning attacks that killed hundreds of civilians. The target was heavily protected and moved frequently between secure locations. Intelligence indicated he would be traveling through a narrow mountain pass. Providing a brief window for engagement, Sarah positioned herself on a rocky outcrop overlooking the pass, nearly 2,000 meters from where the target's convoy would travel. The distance was at the extreme range of her rifle's capabilities, requiring perfect calculations for wind speed, bullet drop, and timing. She had one shot to complete the mission successfully. The convoy arrived exactly as intelligence had predicted. Through her scope, Sarah could see multiple vehicles with heavy security escorts. The target was visible for only seconds as he moved between armored vehicles. Sarah's shot traveled over a mile through challenging mountain air, striking with deadly precision just as the target emerged from his protective vehicle. The successful elimination of such a high-priority target earned Sarah recognition at the highest levels of military command. Her commanding general personally commended her exceptional performance and dedication to the mission. The operation remained classified, but word of her achievement spread through elite military circles. Sarah's next assignment involved supporting a rescue mission for captured personnel held in a heavily fortified compound. The facility was surrounded by enemy fighters with sophisticated weapons and extensive defensive positions. Sarah's job was to eliminate key defenders and create opportunities for the rescue team to reach the prisoners. The mission required Sarah to infiltrate deep into enemy territory and establish a hidden position within striking distance of the compound. She spent 4 days moving carefully through hostile terrain, avoiding patrols and surveillance equipment. Her survival skills and camouflage training kept her undetected throughout the dangerous approach. From her concealed position, Sarah had clear sight lines to critical defensive positions around the compound. When the rescue operation began, she systematically eliminated enemy fighters who threatened the rescue team's advance. Her precise shots cleared the way for the successful extraction of all captured personnel. The rescue mission's success was largely attributed to Sarah's exceptional support from her sniper position. The rescued personnel included high-ranking officers whose capture had been a significant intelligence concern. Sarah's contribution to their safe return earned her recommendations for the highest military decorations. Between missions, Sarah continued advanced training that expanded her capabilities even further. She learned to use experimental rifle systems with enhanced accuracy and range. New optics technology allowed her to engage targets in conditions that would have been impossible for previous generations of snipers. Her reputation within the elite sniper community attracted attention from allied military forces. Sarah participated in joint operations with foreign special forces units, sharing expertise and learning new techniques from international partners. These experiences broadened her tactical knowledge and cultural understanding. During a particularly complex operation, Sarah's unit was tasked with disrupting a major enemy offensive that threatened a strategic city. Intelligence indicated that eliminating specific enemy commanders could cause the entire offensive to collapse. Sarah was assigned the most difficult targets, including an enemy sniper who had been terrorizing the region. The enemy sniper was known for his skill and cunning. Having successfully evaded multiple attempts to eliminate him, Sarah spent weeks studying his patterns and tactics, looking for weaknesses in his methods. The eventual confrontation took place during a fierce battle for control of key positions around the threatened city. Sarah's engagement with the enemy sniper lasted an entire day, with both fighters using every skill they possessed. The duel played out across multiple positions as each tried to gain advantage over the other. Sarah's superior training and equipment eventually gave her the edge she needed for a successful engagement. The elimination of the enemy sniper and other key targets caused the enemy offensive to collapse as predicted. The city was saved from capture and thousands of civilian lives were preserved. Sarah's contribution to the victory was recognized as a crucial factor in the operation's success. Her commanding officers began discussing Sarah's eligibility for the highest military honors. Her record of successful missions and confirmed eliminations was unprecedented for someone her age. The young woman who had started as a small-town recruit had become one of the military's most valuable assets in the ongoing conflict. Sarah Martinez had always been different from other girls in her small Texas town. While her friends played with dolls, she spent weekends with her grandfather learning to hunt deer in the dense woods behind their ranch. Her grandfather, a Vietnam veteran, noticed something special about Sarah's natural ability with rifles. She could hit targets at distances that amazed even him. When Sarah turned 18, she felt lost about her future. College didn't appeal to her, and the small town offered few opportunities. The military recruiter who visited her high school changed everything. He spoke about serving the country and developing skills that could last a lifetime. Sarah saw it as her chance to make a real difference in the world. Boot camp proved challenging for many recruits, but Sarah thrived. Her drill sergeants quickly noticed her exceptional marksmanship abilities during weapons training. While other recruits struggled to hit targets at basic distances, Sarah consistently scored perfect marks. Her calm demeanor under pressure and steady hands caught the attention of senior officers. After completing basic training, Sarah received specialized sniper training at Fort Benning. The program was intense and demanding, pushing soldiers to their physical and mental limits. Many candidates dropped out within the first few weeks. Sarah not only survived but excelled, earning the respect of her instructors and fellow trainees. Her first deployment came sooner than expected. The military needed skilled snipers in active combat zones, and Sarah's training scores made her an obvious choice. At just 19 years old, she found herself preparing for deployment to a dangerous region where her skills would be tested in real combat situations. The night before leaving for overseas duty, Sarah called her grandfather. He reminded her of their hunting trips and the lessons he had taught her about patience, precision, and respect for life and death decisions. His words would stay with her through the challenging months ahead, providing strength when she needed it most. Sarah's unit arrived at a forward operating base surrounded by hostile territory. The landscape was harsh and unforgiving, nothing like the Texas countryside she knew so well. Enemy forces controlled much of the surrounding area, making every mission dangerous. Sarah quickly learned that combat was far different from training exercises. Her first mission involved providing overwatch protection for a convoy traveling through a known danger zone. Hidden in a concealed position on a rocky hillside, Sarah watched through her scope as vehicles moved slowly along the dusty road below. The responsibility of protecting her fellow soldiers weighed heavily on her young shoulders. Hours passed without incident, but Sarah remained alert and focused. Her training had taught her that patience was often the difference between success and failure in sniper operations. The convoy was nearly through the danger zone when enemy fighters appeared on a distant ridge, preparing to attack the vulnerable vehicles below. Sarah's first combat shot came without hesitation. Through her scope, she could see an enemy fighter preparing to fire a rocket-propelled grenade at the convoy. Her training took over and muscle memory guided her actions. The shot was clean and precise, neutralizing the threat and saving countless lives in the convoy below. The successful mission established Sarah's reputation among her unit. Word spread quickly about the young sniper, who had prevented a devastating ambush. Her commanding officers began assigning her to increasingly important missions, recognizing her exceptional skills and cool performance under pressure. Over the following months, Sarah participated in numerous operations throughout the region. Each mission tested her abilities in different ways, from urban environments to desert terrain. She adapted quickly to changing conditions, always maintaining the high standards that had made her stand out during training. Her fellow soldiers began calling her Ghost because of her ability to remain hidden while providing deadly accurate fire support. Sarah took pride in the nickname, knowing it represented the respect her comrades had for her abilities. She had found her calling in the military and was making a real difference in protecting her fellow service members. Intelligence reports arrived at headquarters indicating a massive enemy operation planned against a coalition base housing over 3,000 personnel. Intercepted communications revealed that enemy forces had been planning the attack for months, gathering sophisticated weapons and experienced fighters for what they intended to be a devastating assault. Sarah received orders for what would become her most important mission: Enemy commanders directing the planned assault had gathered at a remote compound for final coordination meetings. Eliminating these leaders could prevent the attack entirely, saving thousands of lives and preserving a strategically critical installation. The compound was located in mountainous terrain that provided excellent defensive positions for enemy forces. Satellite imagery showed multiple layers of security, including roving patrols, fixed defensive positions, and advanced surveillance equipment. Getting close enough for effective engagement would require all of Sarah's infiltration skills and tactical expertise. Sarah spent 3 days moving through enemy territory toward the target location. She traveled only at night, hiding in carefully chosen positions during daylight hours. Her route took her through some of the most dangerous terrain in the region, where enemy patrols were frequent and alert levels were extremely high. Reaching the observation position required climbing a steep cliff face during a moonless night. Sarah carried her rifle and equipment in a specialized pack that distributed weight evenly while maintaining weapon readiness. The climb took 6 hours, with several moments where loose rock nearly caused catastrophic falls. From her elevated position, Sarah had clear sight lines to the compound nearly 1,500 meters below. Through her scope, she could identify several high-value targets moving between buildings during their planning meetings. Intelligence photos helped her confirm the identities of key enemy commanders responsible for the planned assault. The mission window was extremely narrow. Intelligence indicated the commanders would disperse to their units within hours to begin the final phase of attack preparation. Sarah had to eliminate all critical targets quickly and efficiently before enemy security could respond effectively to her position. Her first target was the overall operation commander, identifiable by his distinctive uniform and the deference shown by other fighters. Sarah's shot was perfectly placed, eliminating the primary threat immediately. The compound erupted in confusion as security forces tried to locate the source of the attack. Moving quickly to a secondary position, Sarah engaged her second target, the tactical coordinator responsible for assault timing and coordination. This elimination further disrupted enemy command structure and created additional chaos in the compound below. Enemy fighters were running in all directions, seeking cover from an invisible threat. Sarah's third target proved more challenging. The enemy intelligence chief had taken cover in a reinforced building after the first 2 eliminations. Sarah waited patiently for any opportunity to engage, knowing this target possessed critical information about other planned operations throughout the region. When the intelligence chief finally appeared at a window to coordinate the search for Sarah's position, she was ready. Her third shot completed the primary mission objectives, effectively decapitating the enemy command structure responsible for the planned assault against the coalition-based enemy forces. Began systematically searching the surrounding area for Sarah's position. She remained hidden in her carefully chosen location, watching through her scope as dozens of fighters climbed the mountainside below her position. Their search pattern showed they understood they were dealing with a highly skilled sniper. Artillery fire began impacting the mountainside as enemy forces tried to eliminate Sarah's position through indirect fire. She pressed herself against the rock face as explosions erupted around her hiding spot. Shrapnel whistled overhead, and the concussions from nearby impacts made her ears ring painfully. During a brief lull in the artillery barrage, Sarah spotted additional high-value targets in the compound. Secondary commanders were attempting to restore order and continue planning for the assault. Sarah realized that eliminating these remaining leaders could completely destroy enemy capabilities for months. Her fourth target was a logistics commander responsible for ammunition and supply coordination for the planned assault. Without effective logistics support, even a partially successful attack would be impossible to sustain. Sarah's shot eliminated another critical component of enemy operational capability. The fifth target commanded the special assault teams trained to breach coalition defenses. His elimination removed the enemy's most capable fighters from the planned operation. Sarah's systematic dismantling of enemy command structure was having devastating effects on their operational readiness. As she prepared to engage her sixth target, Sarah noticed increased activity around her position. Enemy forces had narrowed their search and were closing in on her location. She had to complete her mission quickly before being overwhelmed by superior numbers. Her sixth shot eliminated the communications coordinator, cutting off enemy ability to coordinate between dispersed units. With command structure demolished and communications disrupted, The planned assault was effectively impossible to execute. Sarah had single-handedly prevented a catastrophic attack through her exceptional marksmanship and tactical execution. Now Sarah faced the challenge of escaping from enemy territory while being actively hunted by hundreds of fighters seeking revenge for her devastating attack on their leadership. Her extraction would require all her survival skills and tactical knowledge to reach friendly forces alive. Sarah's extraction from the enemy compound required immediate action. As hostile forces closed in on her position, she quickly disassembled her rifle system and packed her equipment for rapid movement. The sound of approaching vehicles and shouting voices indicated that enemy searchers were getting dangerously close to discovering her hiding spot. Using a rope system she had prepared during her initial climb, Sarah rappelled down the cliff face in complete darkness. Loose rocks scattered by her descent echoed through the valley below, potentially alerting enemy patrols to her movement. She had to balance speed with stealth while navigating the treacherous mountain terrain. Enemy forces had established roadblocks on all major routes leading away from the compound. Sarah's escape route took her through dense forest where vehicle patrols couldn't follow effectively. She moved carefully through the underbrush, using natural cover to avoid detection, while making steady progress toward friendly territory. After 6 hours of continuous movement, Sarah reached a pre-planned checkpoint, where extraction helicopters were scheduled to meet her. However, radio communications indicated that enemy surface-to-air missile systems made helicopter extraction too dangerous. She would need to continue on foot to an alternative extraction point 40 kilometers away. The alternative route took Sarah through a valley controlled by enemy forces during daylight hours. She found a concealed position in a rocky outcrop and waited through the day, watching enemy patrols move through the area below. Her water supply was running low and she had eaten her last emergency rations hours earlier. As darkness fell, Sarah resumed her movement toward the extraction point. The terrain became increasingly difficult, with steep ravines and loose rock that made quiet movement nearly impossible. Several times she had to hide while enemy patrols passed nearby, sometimes close enough that she could hear their conversations. Enemy forces had deployed tracking dogs to follow Sarah's trail through the forest. She could hear the animals barking in the distance as they picked up her scent. Sarah used techniques learned in survival training, crossing streams and moving through areas with strong natural odors to confuse the pursuing animals. Despite her efforts to avoid detection, an enemy patrol spotted Sarah as she crossed an open area near dawn. Automatic weapons fire erupted around her position as she dove for cover behind a fallen tree. She returned fire with her sidearm, while calling for emergency extraction on her radio. Coalition aircraft responded to Sarah's emergency call, providing close air support that scattered the enemy patrol. However, her position was now compromised and enemy reinforcements were converging on the area rapidly. The extraction helicopter would have only minutes to reach her before being overwhelmed by hostile forces. The extraction helicopter arrived under heavy enemy fire, with the pilot performing dangerous maneuvers to avoid surface-to-air missiles. Sarah ran across open ground toward the landing zone while enemy bullets impacted the dirt around her feet. She reached the helicopter just as the pilot began lifting off to avoid incoming rocket fire. Sarah's successful extraction marked the end of her most dangerous and important mission. Intelligence reports confirmed that the enemy assault on the coalition base had been completely canceled due to the elimination of key commanders. Thousands of lives had been saved through her exceptional performance under extreme conditions. Upon returning to base, Sarah underwent extensive debriefing sessions with intelligence officers. Her detailed observations of enemy positions and capabilities provided valuable information for future operations. The success of her mission had strategic implications beyond the immediate prevention of the planned assault. Military leadership recognized Sarah's extraordinary achievement with recommendations for the highest decorations available. Her confirmed elimination count had reached unprecedented numbers for a soldier of her age and experience level. The mission demonstrated capabilities that exceeded even the most optimistic expectations of her commanders. Sarah's reputation spread throughout the military and intelligence communities. Her success in the solo mission against overwhelming odds became a case study taught in advanced sniper training programs. New recruits learned about her techniques and tactical decision-making as examples of exceptional military performance. The psychological impact of Sarah's success extended beyond military circles. Enemy forces became increasingly cautious about gathering in large groups or conducting planning meetings in areas where coalition snipers might be operating. Her reputation had become a strategic weapon that influenced enemy behavior. During the medal ceremony recognizing her achievements, Sarah reflected on the journey from small-town hunter to elite military sniper. The weight of her responsibilities and the lives affected by her decisions had shaped her into a different person than the teenager who had enlisted years earlier. Sarah's confirmed elimination count had reached an impressive milestone that placed her among the most effective snipers in military history. Each number represented a tactical victory and lives saved, though she knew the psychological burden of her success would stay with her forever. Her service record reflected unprecedented achievement in one of the military's most demanding specialties. The medal presentation ceremony included recognition from the highest levels of military command. Sarah's parents attended the ceremony, finally understanding the magnitude of their daughter's service and sacrifice. The small-town girl had become a national hero through dedication, skill, and courage under fire. As Sarah received her decorations, she thought about the soldiers whose lives had been saved by her missions and the innocent civilians who remained safe because of her service. The medal represented not just personal achievement, but the successful protection of countless people who would never know her name or face. The mission that would define Sarah's legacy began like many others, with intelligence reports of enemy activity threatening coalition forces. A new enemy commander had emerged in the region, someone with extensive training who was successfully coordinating attacks against military installations. Sarah received orders to eliminate this high-priority target during a planned meeting with subordinate commanders. Sarah's approach to the target location proceeded smoothly until she reached her intended firing position. The area had been compromised by recent enemy patrols, forcing her to select an alternative location with a more challenging angle of approach. The new position required her to set up her Barrett M82 rifle system in less than ideal circumstances. As Sarah prepared for the mission, she noticed that her primary rifle was experiencing feeding problems during function checks. The .50 caliber Barrett M82 had been her trusted companion through countless missions, but the weapon was beginning to show wear from extended field use. Despite her concerns, mission timing requirements prevented waiting for a replacement weapon system. The target appeared at the designated meeting location, exactly as intelligence had predicted. Through her scope, Sarah could see the enemy commander coordinating with several subordinates around a tactical display. The range was well within her capabilities, and the shot angle provided a clear engagement opportunity. When Sarah squeezed the trigger, the Barrett M82 fired normally but immediately experienced a catastrophic jam during the extraction cycle. The spent cartridge case became lodged in the ejection port, preventing the rifle from cycling properly. Sarah was unable to fire a follow-up shot as the target and his associates scattered for cover. Enemy forces immediately began searching for Sarah's position after the failed assassination attempt. She worked frantically to clear the weapon malfunction, while hostile patrols closed in on her location. The Barrett M82 required field stripping to remove the jammed cartridge, a time-consuming process under combat conditions. Corporal James Mitchell, Sarah's spotter and security element, provided cover while she attempted to repair her weapon system. Mitchell had served with Sarah on multiple previous missions and understood the critical importance of getting her rifle operational. Enemy forces were systematically searching the area and would locate their position within minutes. During the weapon repair process, Mitchell noticed something unusual about Sarah's rifle stock. Military weapons typically bore standard markings indicating manufacturer information and military property numbers. However, Sarah's Barrett M82 had additional markings that caught his attention under closer examination. Etched into the metal of the rifle stock were small marks that Mitchell initially thought might be manufacturing defects or damage from field use. Upon closer inspection, he realized the marks were deliberately placed tallies, each one representing a confirmed elimination. The precise etching required considerable time and skill to complete. Mitchell began counting the tally marks while providing security during Sarah's weapon repair efforts. The number of marks seemed impossibly high for a single sniper, even one with Sarah's exceptional record. As his count reached the hundreds, Mitchell realized he was looking at a historical record of unprecedented military achievement. The final count revealed exactly 305 tally marks etched into Sarah's rifle stock. Each mark represented a confirmed enemy elimination, carefully recorded and preserved as a permanent record of her service. The rifle had become a chronicle of Sarah's extraordinary military career and combat effectiveness. Sarah successfully cleared the weapon jam and restored her rifle to operational condition. However, enemy forces had located their general area and were closing in rapidly. The mission had to be aborted, with Sarah and Mitchell beginning an emergency extraction under increasingly dangerous conditions. During their movement to the extraction point, Mitchell questioned Sarah about the tally marks on her rifle. She explained that each mark represented a life taken in service to protecting others, a burden she carried with both pride and sorrow. The rifle had become more than a weapon. It was a memorial to her service and sacrifice. The revelation about Sarah's confirmed elimination count spread rapidly through military channels after their successful extraction. The number far exceeded official records and represented achievement unprecedented in modern military history. Sarah's rifle had provided definitive proof of her extraordinary effectiveness as a military sniper. Military historians and weapons specialists requested to examine Sarah's rifle to verify the authenticity of the tally marks. Technical analysis confirmed that the marks had been etched over an extended period, consistent with Sarah's deployment history. The rifle became a significant historical artifact, documenting exceptional military service. Sarah's story attracted attention from military leadership, historians and the general public interested in understanding the reality of modern warfare. Her achievement challenged assumptions about combat effectiveness and demonstrated the impact that exceptional individuals could have in military operations. The rifle served as tangible evidence of her unprecedented service record. Following verification of her achievement, Sarah received additional military decorations recognizing her exceptional service. The ceremony included recognition not just for her confirmed elimination count, but for the strategic impact of her missions on overall military objectives. Her rifle was displayed during the ceremony as evidence of her remarkable accomplishment. Sarah's legacy extended beyond her personal achievement to influence military training and tactical doctrine. Her techniques and decision-making processes became required study for advanced sniper training programs. Future generations of military snipers would learn from her methods and strive to achieve similar levels of effectiveness. The Barrett M82 rifle that had served Sarah throughout her military career was eventually retired to a place of honor in a military museum. The weapon and its 305 tally marks stood as a permanent reminder of exceptional service and the price of freedom in a dangerous world. Sarah's story continued inspiring new generations of military personnel dedicated to protecting others through skilled and courageous service.